Hello UK fans, Madarans here, and welcome to a updated deck profile with Kaiju Ninjas. So, someone requested me to update this deck profile for the April 2016 ban list. It's not as competitive as it once was, since we now have Kozmo, Monarchs, and Blue Eyes coming all in as the mentor, and Ninjas really don't have much better quality to them. Kamungus Lockdown isn't too powerful anymore, so the competitivity of this deck is more or less dead, but it's still a good fun deck. So I thought I'd update it, and it's alright, it's quite nice actually. I've got a few replays at the end of this video if you want to check those out, but before that I will go into the deck profile. So we are running 2 Jizakaru with the Star Destroying Kaiju. This has the ability to basically negate targeting effects by using 3 Kaiju counters, I believe they're called, and destroy one other card on the field, which is pretty nice indeed. It's only a 2-off because it's not something good to give your opponent, because you can't actually beat over it in this deck. All you can do is crash with Great Eagle. So it doesn't really give you that much plus, but if you're giving your opponent a dog around, this can easily run over that and have some decent effect to keep up with it. I don't run the Lightning Kaiju because I don't think that gives much to a control style deck, because this is more oriented to go first than second, as usually Kaiju decks are focusing on going second to tribute off their monsters. I'm focusing on going first to go on my Ninja Kaiser Lockdown, which can be very annoying for your opponents. Then we have 3 Dogoran the Mighty Flame Kaiju, which is basically Raigeki, which is very nice indeed. It's a 3k beat stick, so you can give them GamCL and run over with this. Then we have triple GamCL, which is basically the best card in this deck. You can believe it's detach, not detach. Use 2 counters, Kaiju counters, to negate a card or effect, and then banish that card, which can be brilliant against stuff like pendulums and Kozmo Town, field spells that float. Anything that floats, this is great against. The only problem is it's 2200 attack, so that's a little bit of an annoyance, but it's very powerful nonetheless. It's hard to get around unless you have something that's really big as a beat stick, or you have skill drain obviously, but you have to be careful of the counters on board before using your card effects. You have to play around this card. And you have to remember to activate your Remove Brainwashing before you summon this card, like I nearly did once, which was thankfully rectified by my opponents, but GamCL, very good card indeed, just have to be careful. Then we run 2 Kamungus. Basically this is searchable in the deck, as any ninja basically gives you Kamungus, which is great. It has the effect of Fiendish Chain, and that's all you really can say about it. It's not as good as it once was when the first Kaiju support was released, but it's still a decent help against the deck. It's lose 1 turn, but lose 1 turn is being phased out from this game at the moment. And then we have 1 Raiden for the basically the double summon of Kaijus, because it summons a token by removing 2 counters, which can be nice. Plus this effect cannot be used in your turn, so it's something good to give your opponent when you want a Jizakaru or Dogoran on your board. Then we have the Ninja Engine. We have 3 Ninja Grandmaster Hanzo. He's the only ninja we run because he's the only good ninja at this point. You can search out any ninjutsu art from your deck to your hand. You don't use secondary effects. And the ninjutsu art you search is Ninjutsu Art Transformation, which contributes to ninja to special summon Kamungus. There is a Ninjutsu Art of Super Transformation, which contributes your opponent's monsters to summon out Dogoran, but I've dropped that from the build mainly because there's a lot of pendulums around and a lot of non-targeting cards, so it doesn't really get much plus. You don't get to resolve it that much, so there's no real point in running that anymore. Plus Dogoran doesn't give you much other than a 3k beat stick back and Raigeki. That's about it. You can't really do on your opponent's turn, which you'd rather use that card for. Then we have 3 Great Eagle. This is basically the support. Originally I was using Ice and Fire Hand, but that's kind of phased down at the moment. Great Eagle is pretty much a lot better, but particularly with Blue Eyes coming up, this can be a great card against them. When it's destroyed by battle or card effect, it can basically snatch duel your opponent's monster, which can be pretty great. It's a very good support card, and if they think I'm just playing pure ninja kaijus and then they see a Gradle in there, they won't expect the Gradle, I should say. Then we have triple terraforming just to get to that field spell as much as possible. I don't think it really clogs terraforming, so I want to get to my lockdown and I have to play everything at 3 of or max completely out. So I need to keep the consistency to have my lockdown. So terraforming at 3 is completely fine with me. Then 3 interrupted Kaiju Slumber. This has the ruling, a TCG ruling where you can destroy Kaiju on the ball as well, because you can summon out those monsters without the restriction. That's not on DevPro at the moment, but it is on YgoPro Salvation, so if you want to use that card to its fullest potential, use it on there. Plus, I'm not using this deck profile on DevPro at the moment because they have an issue with their sound in deck edit, so I'll do it on here. It's very nice. So yeah, Dark Hole plus Rota, it's a very good card indeed. And then 2 Kaiju files, which is something I would like, but I never saw too much. I can destroy a Kaiju to special summon a Kaiju from my deck to the controller's board in attack or defense position, which can be brilliant for Gansey as it's got 3k defense. And it can gain counters if you special summon a Kaiju to your opponent's side of the field, or from your hand, I believe it's actually. Yeah, I think it's from your hand. Yes, this is something from your hand or graveyard, but you don't summon from the graveyard, obviously. Unless you're playing God of Monsters. And you can remove it with 3 Kaiju counters to search out a Kaiju spell track from your deck. The only one you would ever search is Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, but you generally don't use that effect anyway. Then we have our field spell, Kyoto Waterfront. Every time a card is sent from the field to the graveyard, it gains a Kaiju counter, and when it would be destroyed, you can move a Kaiju counter instead, which is a very powerful thing. And if it has 3 or more Kaiju counters on it, you can search a Kaiju from your deck to your hand once per turn, which can be brilliant for this deck, and it doesn't remove the counters. So basically, generating counters while under Among Us is exactly what you want. So you need to see this plus Kaiser plus a Ruta Hanzo that turn in your turn 1, and then you'll be set. So yeah, 3 Kaiser Colosseum. Originally this was at 2, but I think the lockdown is quite specific for this deck to make it anywhere meta viable, or anywhere competitive I should say. So have to max out the Kaiser Colosseum. It basically locks down your opponent. If you control one monster, they can let you control a monster, which can be very nice. And then 1 of stack for consistency. Then I run triple Drowning Miracles. This is just my player's preference here, because if I fail to get my lockdown set up turn 1, I fail to draw a monster I can set, I can draw my Drowning Miracles and basically keep myself in the game. You can run Storming Miracles if you were going to play this as going second, because it can bounce back those Kaijus to your hand, but I think Drowning is a little bit more competitive than Storming at this point. Then we have the Ninjutsu Wild Transformation to summon out Among Us by Drifting Hanzo, 3 remove Brainwashing to basically tribute off their monsters and get a monster of your own, which could be very good indeed. And then 1 Solemn Warning because it's Solemn Warning. Then onto the extra deck, it's more or less not used, but I've got some options here to basically allow me to do stuff. So we have Break Sword as a Scrap Dragon for the Gradle overlays. For Hanzo overlays, we have Abyss Dweller, which is brilliant in the meta. Dagos Emerald to shuffle back monsters. Diamond Direwolf because it's spot removal. Castell, spot removal. Giant Hand, Fiendish Chain. Heroic Champion Excalibur, a 4k beatstick. Blade Armor Ninja, basically for 4 beatstick to be fair, because it can attack twice. Then Ragnar Zero because it destroys monsters that are powered up. Dark Rebellion because it can power itself up very powerfully. Can't really say much about that to be fair. And then we've got the Utopia engine. Basically I don't like to use this engine because we can't use it in the UK TCG, but I had space here so I might as well put in. So 1 Utopia, 1 Utopia Prime, and then 1 Utopia Lightning. Then there's 2 options if I Dreidel Eagle level 7 or level 8, which are Big Eye and Divine Dragonite Velgrand, which is defensive. I could put Titanic Galaxy into this, but I generally don't think it'll come up anyway. So yeah, I like this deck, but it's not the best competitive deck at the moment. It's more of a fun deck, but Kaijus can be very annoying and can be pretty good against stuff like Kozmo. Kozmo really don't like going against Kaijus. So I'll go on to the replays. So the first duel is against Magician Girl, Magician Girl, oh god, can't even say it now. That Magician Girls, featuring the Sorcerer Dark Magic Lockdown, which is quite nice. So I don't open up the best. He goes for a circle, he gets some searching, and then just attacks me for 400. Nothing I can really do here, but I've got my brainwashing. I set up my CL. I've got some negation on the board, and I just attack 22. I've got a drowning as protection if I need it. That magic circle activates nothing. Coco gets a draw, that's about it. Didn't negate this because I didn't know if I wanted to really get it gone that turn. Just don't want to waste my counters at this point. I don't know what this face down is. It could be Eternal Soul, since I know it's Dark Magicians. He gets his secret village, he goes for Prisma, and then summons out the Dark Paladin, which isn't very good against this because it's really not going to do much against Kaiju, so he goes to go tribute a monster. He gets his secret village, I can't play spellcards until I get a spellcaster, or if I tribute off his monster, he can't play spellcards anymore. I go for Gamstiel, he just gives up at that point, he doesn't want to play anymore. And it has 2 negations, so even if he did play on the next turn, he would add Insuffusion Berry, and both of those would have got negated, and he would not have had anything. Actually, he wouldn't have had anything either. You couldn't activate Insuffusion because Berry would be the first summoned. Most likely you would use the effect, and then it'd be negated and banished, and then you can't play Insuffusion at all, which is very annoying indeed. That's why I usually don't play this card, although I do think it's a nice card. It's going to lock yourself out. I don't think that's very good against something like Kaiju or something like this. So on to the next replay. The next replay is against Shaddolls one. Although it's a over 50 card deck, Slice one's kind of the only deck you can really do that works with this. Anything that's mill oriented can technically make a 60 card deck work. So he starts with he gets a Trick Clown into the graveyard, Solar Recharge, getting some draws, overleaf for that prize card, and then he's got nothing else. Unfortunately, his engine run dry there. Hanzo is on the board, but I didn't want to trip him off yet because I don't have any Kyoto. Go for my Grail Eagle, so I destroy his trick, and capture his raid. I could have activated my remove brainwashing to do a little more damage and keep the Eagle on board, but I didn't want to do it in case of Shadow Dragon. He goes for Star Eater. He didn't enjoy this though, by the way, so he goes for Star Eater. He has an option to go for Shekinaga here. Well, he had an option to go for Shekinaga or Ritual Summon is Saphira, but they'll easily just get tributed off. So then I just summon Humongous and go for game. Unfortunately, if he had done that, he probably would have survived the next turn and he would have got Mathematician, but it wouldn't have been that problematic. If he had got rid of my board, I would have drowned all of them, and yeah, that would have probably caused a rage quit or something like that. He just didn't enjoy the duel. I think he wanted it over as fast as he could. On to the third replay. The third replay is against Kozmo. It was on ranked because I was trying this on ranked and it didn't really work that well. It was good against Kozmo, but that's about it. So I set up my Humongous Lockdown, which is lovely. Finally get that off, and he drops a back seed to get some draw, but nothing much. He does for Wicked Witch, he goes to Slipper. Slipper's effect, I negate it, there's a Phoenix Chain effect, and he just sets a hell of a lot of background, which is a bit daunting for me. I thought originally it was Demise, but it's not. He goes for his Cosmojo Banish, the Grey Legal, so now another Wicked Witch, which is a bit surprising. I try to negate his effect so I can run over it, but he goes for Soul Strike. Well, bait out, essentially. Loads of things happen. I go for Doggeran, and somehow my Chizukaru, but he Chaos Shackles it. Very intuitive, the better at the moment. My apologies to Karu. I get beaten down for 3k, he flips the Call, it summons a Wicked Witch, takes me down to 3-1, summons out his Dark Lady, and takes me down to 900. I am not in a good position here. I top deck a Gamciel, I search out Chizukaru, and beat over Doggeran because Doggeran could destroy my Chizukaru next turn. Leaving his Dark Lady on board, very precarious situation I'm in. And his Cosmotown just shuffled back in and gets a Strongman, which is not good for him. I Kyoto, I get my Doggeran, I run over his Dark Lady and set my Remove Brainwashing. Then he sets Strongman. I don't know why he didn't shuffle back his Fangirl, but I think he wanted it particularly. I had Remove Brainwash, I flipped my Remove Brainwashing about when he did a Kaiju. Oh wow, I've lost it, yeah. So I summoned the Kaiju on him, flip the Remove Brainwashing, and then it's gone. They keep going because you can only control one, and it's already the first one on the board, so I just attacked the game for that. He had a Realms Trouble, that was not going to do anything. His next top deck was a Solemn Warning, that would have been even worse. He wouldn't be able to shuffle back either, so yeah. Onto the final replay. The final replay is on Salvation, and it is against Demise Evil Swarm. So he sets up his Demise lock, gets his duality, unfortunately draws 2 monsters, but that's how it goes. You have to play high risk, high reward strategies. So he sets his Mistake, the first time I've gone against Mistake in quite some time, and he also had his Vantage Emptiness, which basically locks me down completely here. He just keeps beating me down here, 1600, sets a time space. I tried to set some bluffs in case he had Twister or something of that caliber, but they didn't pay off for me at this point, so I just set my Terraformers then. I've got a Drowning Miracles, but I didn't want to drown this by itself. I top decked my Eagle, thankfully, and since he has no room, he can't play his Pandemic to protect itself before he attacks into it, because you'd think it would be Grails anyway. So I just start to beat him down, but he Quakings. Basically makes it unaffected by the Gradle, but it shuts off his vanities. I can now play Yu-Gi-Oh! So before this duel, I actually lost to him because he got Zopian turn 1 or turn 2 and I couldn't do anything. But this was like the second duel and it was nice to actually do this. So Quaking Mirror Force sets my monster. I can't do anything with that, unfortunately, now. He sets his Rogeki, he gets his time space. A lot of clogging on this board. He goes for Komunga's effect. I destroy it to try and bait him into attacking with his Raiden. Attacking me essentially, because I've got Drowning Mirror Force. He takes 2 counters, summons out of Raiden, and then I drown them both, which could be very good. It actually paid off essentially the Kaiju files. I top deck a Kaiju, nothing I can use. He top decks another Mistake. He's now got a playset on in play essentially. I top deck another Dogoran. He top decks a Solemn Strike. Useless here. Top decking the Raider. It's just literally we're top decking nothing here. He gets his card Demise. I can't even work here. I get my Eagle finally and start to beat him down for 1500, which is decent enough. And he gets a caster. I don't know why he attacked into my monster. Maybe he was thinking that he had some route around it. Probably Pandemic, but if he had done Pandemic prior to this, maybe it's unaffected. I'm not 100% sure. So he top decks another caster and crushes, killing both monsters. Now there's a clear field essentially. If he had left the caster on board, I would have just tributed off for a Kaiju anyway, so he may not wait on the board, but he wanted to summon it out of his hand for some reason. I have to now discard a Waterfront. He top decks another monster, but he sets it since he fears the Drowning Mirror Force, which is there. I make a mistake here. I should have flipped my Rain Brainwashing and summoned out my Ganciel, but it didn't matter anyway. He flipped Time Space for some reason, and it's just gonna shovel back in. So there's no real minus from that. I top deck another Kaiser from there, and he gets his Heliodrop. Now he's not scared. He's going to beat me down for 1950. I'm not going to do Drowning Mirror Force when I'm in a decent position anyway. I now flip my Remove Brainwashing, summon my Ganciel. He tries to time space this time. I remove 2 counters, which basically negates all that. He tries to drown me. I negate 2 counters. Basically in control at this point. There is 1 more negation on this board. He sets 2. He doesn't go for Heliodrop for some reason. Maybe he was trying to basically bluff. Hopefully Drowning Mirror Force was on the board, but no, it didn't work. So I think he may have given up at that point. It was a 36 turn duel, so a bit of a nightmare for him to actually play. But even if he had a summon Heliodrop in defense, I would have had my Hanzo to run over it. Even if he's in attack mode, Ganciel run over it and then Hanzo attack for game. I can't remember the life points, but it probably would have been game. So yeah, I hope you enjoy those replays, and I hope you like the deck. If you've got any other suggestions for the decks to be updated for the ban list, please let me know in the comments below. Please like, subscribe, enjoy this, I want to see further content. Please leave comments below if you've got suggestions for my decks, suggestions for my channel in general. And if you want to see when I'm streaming, please like my Facebook page, it's in the description below. Thank you for watching. Matt Durant signing out.